Hey everybody, this is Crunky here with a quick editor's note. This is part 2 of our E3 2018 wrap-up. If you did not listen to part 1 and would like to, make sure to check the feed. Otherwise, enjoy this episode. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hello, Augier. How you doing? So, next game, The Crew 2, upcoming online open world racing video game. That's it.
I signed up for the early access beta. So.
Yeah, these open world racing games, like I get the appeal, but it's like, isn't that just GTA 5's racing games? Are they better at racing? Is that what the thing is?
GTA 5 has some pretty solid racing games, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. The beta comes out, I think, the end of this month.
Okay.
I think, but it's free to sign up for the beta. So I'll give it a shot.
Well, let us know how that goes. Next game is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I'm already tired of talking about Assassin's Creed. It's like they took a year off, and it seems like they didn't. I know people love Assassin's Creed. I just cannot get into them to save my life. And this
looks really cool. I like the setting. The thing about Assassin's Creed for me is the setting. Like, if I don't enjoy the setting, then I won't enjoy the game.
Well, we know you like the pirate one because you like if I ever make a video game and putting one pirate in it, so Snuffas tells everybody how great it is.
It's set in ancient Greece.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it still has the bullshit following missions, and it's still an Assassin's Creed game, and it has all the crappy stuff in Assassin's Creed. But
if you get through the shitty parts, Assassin's Creed games are pretty good.
That's the thing about Black Flag, and that's the thing about all Assassin's Creed games. If you can get through the shitty parts that make Assassin's Creed, they're really good games. But unfortunately, they have the follow this guy for 35 minutes and don't get seen, stuff.
You gotta get through the slog to get to the good parts.
Yeah, just but it looks cool. It'll probably be $25 in a year and a half after it comes out. So I'll just wait till it goes on sale and buy it and enjoy it like I did Black Flag and Rogue.
Augier 6 wants to know if that girl in the corner is single. No, Snuffas is not single. He's married. Let's see. The new DLC for expansion for Mario and Rabbids Battle is the Donkey Kong game. I didn't finish that game. That game was fun for a time, but then it just kind of like I lost interest in it. Did you ever play that one, Cherry?
No. It didn't really appeal to me because I'm not a fan of like turn-based that kind of thing. When you equated it to similar to XCOM. I've never played that, and it didn't really appeal to me. One thing I want to ask, is that free DLC or is that paid?
It's paid, for sure. Because they had a season pass when it came out for no DLC, yeah. It's Ubisoft, and you're not going to get anything free with them. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, right. No way. Hey, I got Black Flag free.
Was it really free?
But yeah, Black Flag was free.
How did you get it free? Was it like a free weekend or something?
Yeah, they were giving it away for free. Yeah.
Wait, isn't For Honor free as well?
Yeah, it is. I downloaded it. I'm glad it was free because I would never pay money for that game.
Didn't you? Like, even in the tutorial.
College got it free as well.
I got through the tutorial and I was like, I'm a big fan.
So,
I need to play it more. Speaking of For Honor.
For Honor, yeah, go ahead. Just tell us about For Honor. I got that game for free with my graphics card, and I didn't get very far into it because I just didn't care for the combat stuff.
Yeah, it's just that it doesn't seem that much fun. You only have like 3 ways to block, and it just seems clunky and slow and boring, and I just really didn't care.
Yeah, I think when it came out, I played it before it had dedicated servers, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna put in dedicated servers now." I'm like, I should go back and try that again, and it just never made it. Never felt even to install it.
It'll be that game that I try for like 5-10 minutes.
Okay. What about Rainbow Six Siege? Did you look at what they're bringing out for that, Cherry?
No, I think I missed that.
You missed it. You missed it? Oh my god.
I was probably falling asleep or at work or something.
You act like it's the other side of the planet over there or something.
I had work. I had to sleep.
Rainbow Six Siege is a tactical shooter video game. It's class-based, and all the classes are like DLC. And there's a new expansion coming out. I couldn't tell you for sure what all they're adding. I'm going to assume, like all the other expansions, that it's different characters, different maps, maybe a different gameplay mode. I'm looking for Bishiv to fill me in here. He probably did a little bit more research on this one than I did.
They're going to make it even tougher for new players to get into the game and enjoy it.
all they announced was a tournament date and a documentary, is what Bishop's saying. So, I love everything about the idea of that game. The DLC that they discussed is already out. Okay, so there you go. It's already out. Go check that out if you like Rainbow Six Siege. More Rainbow Six Siege and a tournament sounds fun. Moving on to the Sony press conference on June 11th. Sony at 6. Sony had the E3 Experience event where they simultaneously broadcast to a limited number of movie theaters, and I think of all of them, this was the most disjointed one. And we'll get to our impressions at the end, but they showed Death Stranding, which is the oh my god, what WTF is this game that looks amazing. But when you guys saw the gameplay, did you think, is this just package delivery and hiding from ghosts? Is that all
exactly
it is?
What I thought. I was like, what is this, like a Paperboy game where you have to deliver? It's like Futurama Sim without all the crazy stuff. You just work for Mail Express.
I think it's a good lesson and I hope I'm wrong. I hope this game is amazing but somebody like thanks, Ollie. Both chicks in the bottom corners are hot. The dude in the middle, I think Bruce Willis killed him in the first Die Hard movie to piss off his brother. Nice. But this Death Stranding game, I haven't seen anything gameplay wise that made me go, oh yeah, that looks awesome. It's all the really good graphics. It's got Kojima's name on it, and he's got something to prove. I get it. It's got a lot of hype around it, but this is where we say temper your expectations, temper your hype. This is one to temper your hype on, because until they show you like what are you going to be doing for 90% of the game, the graphics, you'll eventually get used to them. It will not be impressive on the 30th hour as it is on the first. So the gameplay has to be there for you to like really enjoy it long term. But I love that it's completely what the hell is going on weird. Hey Ollie, by the way, nice to see you, buddy.
Hey Ollie.
Speaking of pretty games, not you, Snuff, but Ghost of Tsushima is another.
That's fine.
Is another samurai Souls-looking game. Did you guys see this one?
Yeah. It looks beautiful. I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like they took Assassin's Creed and Samurai.
Fair enough.
Well, that's probably in the works already, so look out.
That's exactly what this looked like. I was watching the combat. I was watching this looks like AC just reskinned. It looks really pretty though.
Yeah,
beautiful.
I never stopped in the 2 or 3 minutes of the whole. It was a long video. It was gameplay.
It was 11 minutes. Almost 11 minutes. Of
was it that long? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I picked my jaw up till the very end, because it was just like the whole time there were all these vivid colors and the leaves falling and the grass blowing, and it was like you could tell they were going for that visual punch. And I have to believe that means, if that's where they spent their time, is the gameplay going to suffer? I don't know.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's real gameplay, because there's no HUD.
Yeah.
There's probably a way to turn the HUD off.
I read up on this stuff, and apparently, according to Wikipedia anyway, I don't know how reliable it is, but they said that there's going to be no waypoints and no guidance in the entire game. So you are free to explore anything.
I like that. That's neat. That's cool.
Figure out what you're supposed to do. The video game.
Yeah. You gotta wander around for 3 hours and figure out what the hell you're supposed to do. Put down Shot of Colossus and pick this up.
You guys might be too young to remember a game called Myst, MYST. That's basically all that game was. A bunch of puzzles everywhere. What the fuck are you supposed to do? Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man game looks awesome. I think
amazing.
The voice acting was a little cheesy, but it's Spider-Man. What do you expect? It's going to be cheesy.
I can't wait to watch people. I won't be able to play it because I don't have a PlayStation, but I can't wait to watch somebody play this. They took Arkham City. They took the combat in Arkham City, which was kind of goofy for Batman anyways, because of some of the stuff he was able to do. I'm like, it's a little too acrobatic for Batman, but they gave it to Spider-Man, and it's going to suit him perfectly.
Yeah.
All the gameplay that I've seen, the battles look seamless, just like they did in all the Arkham games for Batman. It looks seamless. It looks beautiful. It looks like Spider-Man. I haven't been this excited for a Spider-Man game since maybe in the PlayStation days.
What about you, Cherry? You gonna play Spider-Man, or you don't have a PS4 either, do you?
No, I don't have a PS4.
You got to track you one down and get you one to play this.
Yeah, well, no, I think if I did, I was going to get a PS4. I'd play Ghost of Tsushima anyway, which I always want to call sashimi, which is flipping sushi, and it's not right.
Just play the Dark Souls version of it, or the other, the Neo 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
No, anyway, superhero thing isn't like my kind of area, so I think it might be fun to watch, but it wouldn't be something that I'd play.
And the other big heavy hitter at the Sony conference was The Last of Us Part 2. That trailer really blew me away from a couple of different standpoints. Cherry and I were talking about this the other day. I didn't expect them to go full on girl kiss in the trailer, especially the trailer. Like in the story, fine, but to have it be in the trailer.
All right.
I did say I was complaining. I just didn't expect it. And then I think more impressive is the little 7 minutes between where they show the combat with the verticality and the contextual combat. I don't know how much of that if you guys have never played the first one you picked up on, but they definitely showed a lot of where she's laying under the car and aiming and shooting under the car, or having a parry system or a reactionary system. It looks really good, and if they do if they really innovate there, on top of the great graphics, on top of the excellent story, that's going to be a hard one to beat. If that game comes out next year, it'll be game of the year. Did they say next year or this year?
Next year, I think.
Next year,
yeah. This is my early favorite for game of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
game of the year next year.
It's hands down.
I don't like The Last of Us, but I know a ton of people do. It's a beautiful game. It's a great story.
Yeah.
So yeah, if this lives up to the trailer, I think it'll be tough to beat game of the year next year.
If they do, it's almost like they're personally addressing some of my beef with Last of Us Part 1. Last of Us Part 1 was a great game, but it got a little video gamey that you would go to an area and you'd see all this cover and you're like, okay, some shit's about to go down before the story came out. And I didn't enjoy the combat because I don't like playing shooters, especially a survival horror shooter where ammo's limited. But if Last of Us Part 2 has more contextual combat, other ways to play other than just get bullets and shoot everybody, and you'll be fine. I think it could really address some of the things that I had issues with Last of Us Part 1. I recently watched go ahead, Cherry.
I was going to say, on the note of the first game, that was released in 2013.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
Yeah, that era of it was the first attempt of that game as well. So there's always going to be bugs with it, especially around that time as well. But now, 5 years later, hopefully they have what you just said sorted out, the problems that they had with the first one, and updated it. So hopefully it should be good.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. I've said that about 15 times, I'm sure, this podcast, but I'm looking forward to it, and
that should be the title, E3, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, E3 2018. Maybe. I'm gonna skip over Tetris Effect, Twin Mirror, and Ghost Giant. Those are more like smaller games. Let's go into Nintendo. Everyone's here to talk about Nintendo. They were the last people up. They went on June 12th at 9 a.m. Eastern, or no, it wasn't 9 a.m. Eastern, was it? That was Pacific time. They were noon Eastern, and 5 your time, Cherry?
5 p.m. that time, yeah.
Because we had, by the time this came out, the three of us had said we're gonna do this E3 live thing, reaction video stream, more like Nintendo College says, and we had kind of like a live discussion as it happened. I think Cherry was working during the thing, so we were like giving her updates of what they were showing.
Yeah. Unless she was Snuffas and giving me trolley things. So.
Yeah, we were telling her. They announced Halo for Nintendo Switch. Who knew?
Oh my God, PUBG on Nintendo Switch.
So, real quick, they I think they talked about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for a minute or two. Oh no, it was half the presentation.
Just a bit.
I think, and there's been a lot of like talk about this since it came out, that it was Smash Brothers. Is it a port or is it a fully realized from the ground up remake? Nintendo is saying it's from the ground up, and I've seen a ARS Technica demo or whatever they call it, where they show side by side, and when I just watched it, it looked the same to me. But I think that's iterative gains. Like Snuffas was saying, graphics are getting so good that the difference between 2015 and 2018, from a 30,000 foot level, all in motion while it's on the screen, everything else is going on, you can't tell the difference. But I was telling Cherry how like I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it just simply so I can play with my friends who are gonna have it, who have Switches, because Snuffas will have a Switch by the time this comes out.
I might.
and I want to play it with all my friends. But to people who are like, I just bought Smash and all the DLC for the Wii U. I'm that guy too. I get it. I get where they're coming from, and they have every right to feel slightly or to feel slighted a bit. Yeah, shit on. They're not wrong, but after looking at all the stuff, and one of the things that Nintendo did in their way too long reveal video for like 20 some minutes was show like minutia. Like, look at Captain Olimar's helmet crack when he hits the ground. You're like, oh, okay. And
look at all these expressions Donkey Kong does when he does different moves.
Yeah, his hair moves slightly different in the wind. And B-Shiv said, when we upgraded an N64 level, we upgraded the graphics. That's not a headline. That's to be expected. So I get it. But that said, like, I'm still just excited to play it again with friends.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And it's a huge character lineup. It's gigantic.
Yeah, every character.
Waluigi, which I can't believe they left out Waluigi.
Well, he is a assist trophy, so he's got that going for him. Assist trophy, if you've never played Smash Brothers, is when he lands on the level, you throw him in the ground, he comes in and does like a special attack.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's every single character that's ever been in a Smash ever.
Yeah.
The entire thing.
So who's your favorite character from a Smash game, Snuff?
Mine's Samus.
Samus, what about you, Cherry?
Mine's Link.
Link? Which Link? There's like 6 versions of Link now, I'm pretty sure.
There's a ton of versions.
Yeah. The one where it's adult, I can't remember which one that one is.
Adult Link?
Yeah, just adult Link, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Mine is right here. You see my little Rob the Robot right here?
Oh, I thought you were pointing to either Cherry or
Breath of the Wild Link. No, this little character right here on the screen. You can't hardly see him. You guys probably have a hard time seeing him unless you have my stream open. But Rob the Robot. Just full disclosure, I was very young when the NES came. Well, not very young, but I was a kid still when the NES came out, and I was a sucker for that hook, line, and sinker for that robot. I'm like, I want that fucking robot.
Yep.
And of course,
how I was with Samus in the N64. This is amazing.
Before you even knew Samus was a girl, right?
I know. I didn't.
So your favorite's Zero Suit Samus, right?
Oh, yes. Moving on. Speaking of Samus, have you seen the new character that they've introduced? Ridley?
Yes, I have.
Yes, yeah.
What do you guys think of that?
I think that's great for people who are excited about that, but I'm like, I played Metroid when it was new, Metroid for SNES, and I don't have a fascination or fixation with Ridley like a lot of fans do. He was a giant. Like when they first showed him on the presentation, I thought he was literally going to be like half the stage tall. I'm like, okay, that's going to be the first character that gets nerfed. He's just going to come there and wing and hit everybody. But
apparently he's really OP anyway, so he might get nerfed eventually.
I mean, were you guys expecting this? Is it like a huge joke in the community? Why did they bring him of all things?
I don't know. I think I wish they would. I hope in the future anyway that they do bring more characters in. Some that are like people are actually wanting. It really just seems like kind of out of left field.
Yeah, like
so.
College of Celiac says his main is Ganon, and look at him, he's so much better now. Yeah, he is. He looks really good.
Oh yeah, Ganondorf Shear.
Yes.
So moving on from Smash Brothers, unless you guys have anything else you want to bring up for Smash.
We should talk about Smash Brothers for another hour and a half.
Yeah, the rest of this podcast for 4 hours is going to be us talking about Smash Brothers. Did you guys see this crack in Olimar's helmet? It was so awesome. The biggest surprise, one of the big surprises of the presentation was that Daemon X Machina.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of Treehouse yesterday. I went from like, oh, that looks interesting and neat, and some not a left field, I might play it. And then I watched the actual gameplay, and I'm like, I'm buying that on day one. I don't care if it's $60. I'm buying it.
I can't wait to watch you stream that. That was really cool. It took me back to like old like Gundam days, almost like when Gundam came out for, I don't even remember the system. But that's what it reminded me of. And I was like, oh my god, I love those games. This looks really cool. And the art style was awesome.
Snuffas, look at my stream.
That's the one that they opened with, wasn't it?
You got Fortnite on there?
Actually, I do. Yes, Cherry, it is the one they opened up. They did open with this game, and it looked really good. Like I went from going, oh, that looks interesting, and I'm gonna try that, and to going, I gotta have it now. Why is it not out?
It looks amazing.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 showed some DLC to that with Shulk in these videos. I'm trying to stay away from story spoilers, but I'm definitely going to be checking that out. If you guys haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles, I can't say enough good things about it. B-Shiv says it's a joke, to be honest, because it's like them converting Master Hand for old school fans. Yeah. Super Mario Party is... Oh, wait, you're jumping ahead, College. Chill the hell out, all right? Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I love Xenoblade Chronicles. It's got combat. It's got amazing story elements. It's got giant anime boobs. I mean, what else do you fucking want from a video game? You know what I mean?
That was like one of the most boring video games I've ever watched. It was so boring. I could not get into it.
It's got combat and it's got a orchestral score and things. Like, I'm mad that the anime boobs are in there, to be honest, because it really makes people roll their eyes because it's so obviously a Japanese thing. People roll their eyes and go, "Oh, we know why you like that game." It's like, no, I love Xenoblade Chronicles, and they didn't do this shit in the old ones. They just introduced it for this one for, I assume, to sell to little boys, I guess. But it's a great game despite the fact being over-sexualized. I get, like, I'm reading college's name. I get from like a 30,000 foot level, like from a story standpoint, they do it on purpose because it's about a young boy and adolescence, and these girls aren't really girls. They're like they're like characters to represent the blades that they use and their spirits. I get it, but it's still on the face value pretty ridiculous.
Once again, me and Snuff having the same facial reactions there.
It's just kind of.
If you played it for any length of time, you get it. But I can't say enough good things about it. I really like JRPGs, and it's one of the best modern ones I've played in years. It's got a combat system that's amazing. It's very like a mental puzzle to do the combat with your party. You have to like do certain abilities in certain orders, and you have to really theory craft out your combat. And I guess for a specific type of player like me, I absolutely love having that. Are you having a good time there? He's laughing his ass off as I'm trying to explain it.
No, Cherry fell asleep. That's why I was laughing.
Oh, Cherry fell asleep. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about another great game that everyone's very excited about, and that's Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
Yay!
Well,
I'm excited about this.
Cherry's excited about it. Let's hear about it. All I heard from B-Shiv and College and Levi Hurst was how great it's going to be, and everyone's very excited about it. So tell us all about it, Cherry.
Well, I mean, from what I've seen, it kind of looks like a console version of Pokemon Go.
Yeah, like a more fleshed out version of it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks fun. That's what I took away from it. I've never been a huge Pokemon game fan.
Yeah.
But this definitely caught my eye. So I think I will look into getting it, depending on how much it is. I don't know.
It's expensive. Like the one that comes with the Pokeball is like $100.
Oh, yeah. I saw the Pokeball. That looks really neat, but I don't know, like, how. I don't know. It just kind of seemed like.
I mean, I don't want to give you any ideas, but it has HD rumble. So the little monster inside, you can feel it like shaking around in there and like pretend like.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to use it for.
Yeah. I don't know what you were thinking. That's what I meant.
No, of course not.
I know what Snuffas is going to use it for. He doesn't have a Switch. He's going to just grab it.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, it looks fun. So yeah.
And I think, Cherry, you're the exact person that this game is for. You never played old Pokemon. You played Pokemon Go. You liked it. It was okay, but it was kind of shallow. And they take Pokemon Go, they put it on the Switch, they give it a little bit more depth.
Also, in the fact that Pokemon Go, you have to go outside as well. So.
Exactly. And this is a mobile game. I don't know if it'll play offline. I assume it will. But there are people that are huge Pokemon fans that are wanting the new mainline Pokemon game that's going to come out in 2019, they say. Probably next November. I would not even be surprised if it was a year and a half from now before the new one comes out. But that are like looking at this as like a stopgap and going, this is not what we want. And I get that, but you can't. There's a shit ton of Pokemon Go was downloaded and played by a lot of people. It was an absolute phenomenon last year, and I think this might be enough to revitalize people, especially if they're working with Niantic to tie the things together and maybe re-energize people to play the Niantic mobile version. Who knows? What do you think about Snuffas? Are you interested? Did you play Pokemon Go ever? No. Nope.
Snuffas doesn't go outside.
I haven't played Pokemon Red and Blue, the originals.
You played Red and Blue. You're cutting out pretty heavy now. You played Red and Blue. You said you played back in the day.
Yeah, Red and Blue back in the day, and I did the trading card game. But no, I haven't played or picked up a Pokemon game. And
I'm not a huge nerd, guys. I just played some card games.
Played some of the card games. I didn't do the GameCube games like you guys did.
You guys want to play Magic the Gathering?
Awesome.
Moving on, Super Mario Party. Mario Party with the Switch, where you could put multiple Switches together. Big question mark. I've read that it definitely has and definitely doesn't have online. Nintendo has not said for sure either way. Some people have leaked that it absolutely is. It would be the one that launches the Nintendo Online service, but they weren't ready to commit to that 100%, which is why they didn't mention it at E3, because they don't have those deadlines like hard firm. But I don't know. I think either way it'll be fine. Mario Party, even the bad version of Mario Party on Wii U sold fairly well, despite being a steaming pile of manure. Interesting that I think they're really pushing. If you've seen in Japan, they have a hey, buy another Switch pack that doesn't come with all the same accessories. It's a little bit cheaper for your second system. And to be honest, there'll be a time in my house soon where having a second Switch is probably going to be something I'm going to want to do, especially if we're playing Mario Party. And we've got D and I both want to play, and Molly also wanting to play it. If there becomes a time where we all want to play the game, we might have to buy a second one.
On that note, I don't know if you're going leading on to it, but if you do buy the second Switch, you can. It showed in the trailer itself, like you can place them next to each other.
Yeah.
The gameplay will be linked, which I thought was so cool.
That's really neat. That's really, really neat.
Yeah,
really well done.
And that obviously that won't work online, right? Because you can't physically put them together.
Well,
so
I've always wondered how does that work? I saw that video. Like, does somewhere create its own? Like, does one of the Switches create its own modem?
No, it's magic. They talk to each other Bluetooth like the 3DSs do. They can.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's what interests me. I want to know the technology behind being able to do that. 'Cause that's really cool.
Yeah.
Calm down, nerd.
It's just so cool. Like, do you create your own server instance to VM that somewhere? Like,
Snuffas works in networking, so he's going to get off in the weeds on this.
Yeah, like, it looks so cool. I want to know how it works.
Snuffas, it's Nintendo magic. Little Pikmin come out and they run the data packages back and forth. If you guys didn't know this, not many people had a Wii U, so you may not know this, but when you bought a Wii U and you had a Wii, you could bring all your games from the Wii over to the Wii U. There was this little program you had to download on both, and while it was importing the data from the hard drive, there was a little animation on the screen that showed little Pikmin characters picking up all the data out of your hard drive and carrying it over to the Wii U and dropping it in. It was really cute. Nintendo did that instead of making your good Pikmin or Pikmin 4 game, Molly. Sorry. My little 11-year-old daughter loves Pikmin, and she watched that entire Nintendo press conference. When they didn't show Pikmin 4, she was devastated. She looked at Dee and said, Smash Brothers Ultimate's a really lazy name, don't you think? Ultimate, come on. I'm like, Jesus. I'm going to have her on the podcast and let her just shit all over Nintendo. All right, moving on from Mario Party, we're all cautiously optimistic about that one. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Full-on Fire Emblem RPG for the Switch. Who's excited? If you were Japanese, you'd be shitting yourselves right now, because that's
please tell me about it.
It's a tactics RPG. So there's a story woven in, but all the combat is like this tactics based game where you've got sword and axe and bow, and there's like a triangle of what beats what and what gets bonuses too. So and some people can shoot from 2 spaces away, some can have to be right on top of each other. Think like XCOM meets Final Fantasy. That's my general idea. It's a long running series in Japan. It's never really caught fire here in the U.S. No pun intended. But it's going to now, because it's going to be on the Switch.
Either, dog. It's going to be a no.
I have Fire Emblem Heroes, which is the Warriors, which is the Hyrule Warriors or Dynasty Warriors game version of it on the Switch. And they've been in Smash Brothers for a few generations now. Marth and all those people. You know who I'm talking about in Smash, right?
Yeah.
Because they're huge.
I always wondered where they were from.
Yeah, they're from Fire Emblem.
Yeah, you didn't know.
Fire Emblem Awakening, as College said, was a really good. It's a very unique mix of RPG and strategy. So it's like if you like both of those genres, it's a very unique thing to find in a video game these days. Is one that does it well, and Fire Emblem does a really good job with it. It's very Japanese, like the storytelling is very anime and a lot of reading. It's like instead of having everything voice acted, they'll do a lot of text. But moving on, because we are running out of time, guys. Fortnite Battle Royale came out. Long story short, if you hate Fortnite, this isn't going to bring you back to it. If you love Fortnite, this is the shittiest looking version of it. But the most interesting thing to come out of this, and I've not tested it today, I will probably do it after the stream, voice comms, if you don't have a Switch, you don't know this, but there's no voice comm on Switch natively for all the games online. You can't just plug a headset in and talk to people.
No, who does that?
That's American thinking. Just plug it in and have it work. We're talking Japan here, okay? And that's not a jingoistic thing. That's just Nintendo clearly doesn't give a shit about it. And
fuck your online communication.
They for Splatoon 2, they have this phone app. You plug your Switch into your phone, your headset into your phone with this little cord thing, and it's way jankier than it even sounds because like you use the mic on your phone to talk to people, which if you could imagine if everyone on Discord was talking with their microphone laying on the floor next to them, that's what it sounds like. I won't use it again. I'm a diehard, dyed-in-the-wool Nintendo honk, and I will never use their goddamn voice app again because it's such an assault on my ears. I hate it. And it's like, I've said this time and time again, Nintendo has such a blind spot in some places that like they can't get out of their own way. Voice chat's one of them. Knowing what the general gamer pulse is and what's going to hit, what people are expecting is another. The very first time I learned this lesson was when I was a little kid. Oh my God, Zelda 1 was so awesome. Everyone loves it. They're coming out with a sequel. It's going to be bigger and better and awesome, and it was a totally different kind of game that most people hated. I was lucky enough to be young enough to, I was like, I don't give a shit. Actually, I didn't get to play Zelda 1 on my own. The first Zelda game I ever owned was Zelda 2, so I love it because of that. But people who were expecting Zelda 1 or what ended up being Zelda 3 absolutely hate it, and rightfully so. But Battle Royale, you can plug a headset in for what is it called? Fortnite. You could just plug a headset right into the little drive here. Let me show you. I've got an old headset that I bought for my Xbox One, and with the 3 prongs on it, plugs right in, and it just works natively. No third-party app, no nothing.
Imagine that.
I know.
So wait, how can they implement it with Fortnite but not do it with Splatoon?
Well, that would be a good question, Cherry, that no one's answering right now. And people are like, why the fuck am I using this third-party app if the freaking system could just handle it natively? And what it comes down to, honestly, is Nintendo just doesn't know how. And they gave it to my assumption is, this is me speculating, they gave it to a team internally, and they're like, hey guys, give us a real Nintendo fix on how to do this. And they went, well, everyone's got phones, right? Let's just use that. And
Good idea.
yeah, and it's like when they said, hey guys, let's make a Mario Party. Should we tell everyone it's online or not? Nah, let's show them how if you put 2 Switches together, it could be cool. You're like, what the fuck is this? We have this new Wii system. What should we do? You know what we should do? We should conduct an opera and have Wii music. Do you guys remember that E3? E3 2015 for Nintendo that wasn't even the Wii music one. The Wii music one was like 2009. The 2015 one was absolute garbage. Like, it was the worst E3 I think Nintendo's ever had. But, I'm sorry, I'm ranting about Nintendo. I love Nintendo, but goddamn, they're bad. 2008, College says. You guys having a good time? You having a good time watching me rant?
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Arena of Valor. Do you guys know anything about this game?
No.
10 Cent Games. You ever heard of them?
Oh, they're kind of a big company.
Arena of Valor is a multiplayer online battle arena game. Think like MOBA kind of deal. Made by 2017, it was reported to have over 80 million active daily players. It's really big in other parts of the country, or other parts of the world, not the country. It's a PvE game where you and player versus player game, sort of like League of Legends. I don't know a lot about it, but it's huge, and they're bringing it to the Switch. So it'll be like the first exposure to the West. You ever heard of it where you live, Cherry?
Arena of Valor?
Yeah.
No, the West.
Shit's up.
You ever heard of the West? The Western Hemisphere. Anyway, I don't know much about it. I'm going to keep an eye on it. It'll probably be like, if it's anything like League of Legends, it'll be cheap with in-game purchases. Maybe it'll be something fun to have on the go on the Switch with like a real... One of the things I don't like about mobile games is everything's got to be touch screen. Nice thing about compromise with the Switch on a mobile game is you can have control sticks, buttons, and things that we're more used to. At least I'm more used to. Paladins, which is the same company that made Realm Royale, made by Hi-Res Studios. It's coming to the Switch. I think Overwatch, but like the generic offshoot of Overwatch.
Yeah.
Good on them to get that when they can't get Overwatch. One thing I didn't mention about Fortnite, Cherry, is it looks way worse on the Switch than it does on
Looks like doo-doo.
on PC or
Really?
any other. Yeah, like it there's a like a barbed wire fence in the spawn area, and I looked at it and it looked like shitty, like jaggies, like big jaggies all over it, and it looked like N64 era graphics. I'm not kidding.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm over exaggerating, but it reminded me of that era more than it didn't. So B-Shift says late to this, but Pokemon Go was never released to increase Switch sales. It was it was increased for mobile market and make some money. Yeah, I think this is them cashing in on that. I think they weren't doing it to sell Switches. I think they're doing this to have a companion game to cash in on those casual people, not Pokemon people, casual people who played Pokemon Go and then like, I have a Switch, I want Pokemon, I'm gonna get it. And I'm not saying B-Shiv will, but there's a percentage of people who hate Let's Go Pikachu who are going to buy it anyway, and Nintendo knows that. That's my opinion anyway. Minecraft is going to come to the Switch. There was an update for it, one of those versions that are already on PC. I don't want to get too much into that. Overcooked 2, which is basically Overcooked 1 with better game mechanics online.
Online co-op.
These two yahoos are probably going to play it quite a bit, and I'm going to watch and laugh and drink heavily while I watch.
That's the same here.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe if I have like 2 shots of bourbon before I play, I'll be fine.
You got to get in to be a real cook. That's what they do.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. That looks to be a great port. What I've wanted when it came out, or when the Monster Hunter 4 came out on the 3DS, is give me one I can play with an actual controller. And I'm very much looking forward to that one. I love Monster Hunter. I love the gameplay loop, and to be able to play the Ultimate Edition on Switch. Hopefully, it's cheaper than the normal one. Maybe. What do you guys think? Are you Monster Hunter fans? Are you interested in it?
I've never played it. I've seen you stream it.
Yeah.
It looks kind of fun.
The older ones are more cartoony, I'd say.
I'm interested on the one on PC, but I won't be able to play this one.
Yeah, you will. Just not until you get a Switch.
Yeah, just not until I get a Switch.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Huh?
It looked pretty cool. I love Dragon Ball Z games. It looked interesting.
The art design on that is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sherry, go ahead.
The finishing moves look really good.
Yeah.
You guys both watch Dragon Ball?
No. I've not seen Dragon Ball before. Well, I know of it, obviously, but I've never actually watched it. So,
this is about every episode they've ever made.
Other than that, you're not a big fan. Dragon Ball is one of those things that, like, I really show my age when I talk about it because I look at it, I'm like, what is this shit? I thought when it first came out, it looked like something like little bitty kids would play. And then I remember helping a friend of mine like 10, 15 years ago sell comic books. He had a bunch of comic books that he collected. He's like, hey, I'm going to go to this like comic book convention and set up a booth and sell all my shit. Will you help me? He just wanted someone to help him carry it and watch his shit while he had to run to the bathroom. And I'm like, sure, I had nothing going on that weekend. And we go there and like grown-ass men are like, oh, did you see the new Dragon Ball Z? And I'm like, is this a thing that I don't know about? I thought it was like a little kid's thing. By the way, same thing about Pokemon. When the first gen Pokemon came out, I was out of high school, and I'm like, the fuck is this kid shit? Like adults are playing. I'm like, I never got into it. Moving right along, Ark Survival Evolved is coming to the Switch, so again, probably another low-res port of a game that everybody can play everywhere else already. B-Shiv, you were right. Nintendo Switch is nothing but ports, and this is a cheap cash grab by Arc Studio and Nintendo to sell to the casual market. Are you guys excited about another survival game? Because I'm not.
No, I bought Ark when it came out, and I returned it within an hour and a half of playing it. I was like, no, I want a refund. This is a piece of shit.
Wow.
What about Mario Tennis Aces? I'm very excited to play this one with friends. I think it looks good.
They already got a Mario Tennis. It's called Mario Tennis. It's on N64. Don't need another one.
Well, they have tennis on NES if you want to get specific technical. What'd you say, Cherry?
I think I'm on the fence with this one.
Yeah. You mean the net?
I played the free. Played the free the weekend that came with it, and it was fine to play, but yeah, I think I'll pass on that one.
No, you're gonna have to get it. Play with us. Sorry.
No, there's too many other things to buy.
I know, isn't it ridiculous? Especially like E3, you're like, Jesus Christ, my wallet. My wallet is just disappearing. Killer Queen Black. Do you guys know about this game? Quickly,
Nope.
It is a remake of Killer Queen. Which Killer Queen is what? I don't know. I don't know anything about this
Great
game.
Queen song.
Oh, Killer Queen Black.
Yeah.
Think 5 versus 5 Joust. Remember Joust, the old 2D game? This is basically an arcade game where you play 5v5, and it's like focused on gameplay. It supposedly is really good. I told you I was watching Chichin stream E3. He was excited about it. So this actually was one of those sleeper games that if you read it, it doesn't sound like it'd be fun, but if you see it in action, you'll get it. So keep an eye on that. Hollow Knight coming to Switch. It was announced that day. If you don't know about Hollow Knight, it's a great game. Cherry played all of it, I think.
I did all of it on stream. It's such a good game. If you like platformers, 2D platformers, definitely recommend that one.
It was watching Cherry stream it that made me go, oh, I should totally get this, and I bought it. And then I remembered, oh, fuck, I hate 2D Metroidvania games because I don't know where to go, and I have to, like, remember 5 hours from now that there was a door way back up here to the left.
No, it's not that bad.
It's sort of like other games that I played here recently. If I had a guide that, like, if ever I got lost, I could just go, okay, go here. I could totally enjoy that game more because I like the combat, I like the boss battles, I like the upgrade systems. But my Achilles heel in a video game is you're gonna have to remember that there was a door over here that you didn't have the hook shot to get over. And it's not the game's fault. The game's great. It's absolutely fantastic. It's got great art design, audio design. It's the complete version of Hollow Knight with all the patches on the Switch, and it's only like $15. It's a great, absolute slam dunk.
Yeah, it's a definite bonus to it. It's like $15 your money. It's like 11 quid our money.
Yeah,
so
it's only 11 quiddly doos or whatever those are called.
Monies. I hate you guys.
I loved Metroid when I was a kid, Ollie. There's a difference. I had the patience then. I don't have it anymore. Sorry, if it seems like we're cutting Cherry off, it's because of the latency because she's in England. Sorry, Cherry, we don't mean to cut you off. Just talk over us.
I don't think you are.
No, I've noticed it a few times, but
yeah, shut up, Grant.
Yeah, you should have. Octopath Traveler. This is a game that I like. I love everything about it, but I don't know that I'll play it. I know it's a deep RPG that's got like it's focused on literally branching paths of story and narrative, and I think it's got a neat combat system. I'll be keeping an eye on it, but I can't say it's a day one purchase for me right now. Have you guys seen anything about it? Know anything about it?
Snuffas is looking it up right now.
Snuffas is like, looks like he just smelled a fart right now on stream. He's
yeah, I was watching Chichin when this was announced, and it just kind of flew under the radar. I'm like, yeah, just get on with it. I want to see more crap. I don't care about this game.
I don't mean to cut you guys off right there, but Deadhead just raided us with a party of 8. Thank you so much for that raid. Hello, goddammit Gary. Hello, and Risen. Hey, Deadhead Draven. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. We're talking E3 right now. We were actually talking about Nintendo's Octopath Traveler reveal. So go ahead, Snuff and Cherry. What were you guys talking about this? You don't know much about the Octopath Traveler?
No, I have just done a quick search on it, and it looks okay. I guess I need to know more about it. I guess
it is a video game, confirmed.
What? No way.
It definitely has characters in it. Hi, Chris. How you doing? You see something much better than on screen. Yeah, right now they're showing the 2077 Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, trailer. So that's pretty much the end of the Nintendo press conferences. What we're gonna do now is real quick. How are you doing on time, Cherry? You got 10 minutes?
Yeah, should be all right.
Okay, all right. I know sometimes you get pressure to get offline, so we're running a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I should have known better that we'd start talking about all these games. And so let's talk about we've talked about each conference. Let's go to the top 3 announcements or games that you guys are most excited about. Cherry, being the lady here, you can go first.
Oh, thank you.
We're nothing if not chivalrous here.
That makes a change. Okay. The first one, obviously, is going to be Tomb Raider. I am ridiculously excited about that. I think
who could have called that one?
I know.
That's out of left field.
Shut up. Second is Smash Brothers. From what I've seen of that, it looks really cool, and it's been a while since I played the Smash Brothers game, so for that to play on Switch would be cool. And
nice.
Ghost of Tsushima as well, which was one that I was not expecting. So yeah.
That's the one that's on Microsoft, right? It'll be on. Was that Microsoft or is that Ubisoft?
No, that's Sony. I think
Sony.
That's,
Yeah.
Is it a multi-platinum or is it just on PS4?
I think my main exclusive, so I may have to buy a PS4
I have to track down a
I think it's an
PS4.
exclusive, I think.
Okay. Karma Cabre, thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you. She says that we're gonna get in trouble for sensual harassment. All right, Mr. Snuffas, what was your top 3?
All right, so my top 3 changed after we started because I learned something I did not know. My number 1 is Madden coming out of
Number 1?
PC. well, in the top 3. In the top 3. I'm so excited about that. Like,
all right.
You have no idea how excited I am.
I mean, I'm excited, but it's hard to get excited about the 37th version of a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but when's the last time it was done on PC?
It's been over a decade.
That's what yeah. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Skull and Bones. I want to see what Ubisoft does with that. I love the pirate theme. I think everybody knows about that.
What?
Wait,
Everyone's excited about a pirate game? What?
I know.
Fuck.
I know. I'm excited about a pirate game. I'm excited to see what they do with that. I'm hoping it won't be terribly expensive so I can play.
All right, that's 2.
And the last one is I want to see what the demon Ex Machina.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what that's all about. That looks really cool, and the more I see of it, the more I think I'm going to enjoy watching people play it, or when I get a Switch, playing it myself.
In stand-up comedy, or they have this thing called the comedy avalanche, where you start laughing about like it's a complicated joke or setup where you start laughing about the first thing, and then before you're even done laughing about that, another joke hits you, another joke hits you. Before too long, the people can't stop laughing. And that game was a awesome avalanche. Like I saw it, I'm like, this looks cool. I'm intrigued, but it's probably just cutscenes. Then they showed the combat. I'm like, no, I really want this. And then they showed like a 1 hour in-depth like how the mission system works. I'm like, holy shit, I definitely am gonna get this day one.
It's really good.
So top 3 for me was Demon Ex Machina. That was number 3. I was definitely excited about that. I'm beyond stoked. For all the reasons that Snuff has said and what I just tacked on there. Number 2, I'm very much interested in the what was it called? I have this written down here. Sorry, guys.
Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, it was Sea of Thieves. No, Last of Us Part 2. I think I mentioned earlier how that game, Last of Us Part 1, I liked, but it had some of the console shooting mechanics really drove me nuts, and I couldn't finish it. And this is more what they call an not immersive. Hi, Metal Parky, how you doing? More emergent gameplay where it was contextual based on what was going on the screen, and that you had multiple options. So if you were more of a stealthy type person and weren't really good at shooting, that was a viable option. There were some parts in the first one that were just beyond for me, and I think a lot of that had to do with me watching the story when Chaos played it earlier this month.
Fates appear to be intertwined.
Levi Hurst, thank you for the host, buddy. I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, Levi.
Number 1 has got to be Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, just because I'm a huge Souls honk, and that that game does something that I don't think Dark Souls 2 and 3 and even Bloodborne did, is it's exploring a vertical plane. They're introducing the Shadows Die Twice. I've read a little bit more about it today. The Shadows Die Twice is not only just a cool name that actually came from Activision, not FromSoft, that name, but they're having a mechanic where you can respawn right after you die instead of having to go back to the last save point or last bonfire like you do in Souls, and take some of the edge off of that game. FromSoft's been very cautious to say, don't worry, we're not making it easy, but it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be as much running back over and over and over again. It's going to be, they're going to, if they pull off what they say they're going to do, or they're trying to do, is they're going to reward clever gameplay. And so that tells me multiple ways to play, multiple, some depth to the combat that isn't there. So that's why I'm excited about that game, other than it being a FromSoft game. I was excited about it just because it was FromSoft, and then everything I've read since then says, okay, it's an evolution of that series. Because even though I didn't care as much for Neo, they did some interesting and new concepts with combat, with having the different stances, the different weapons that I think Dark Souls FromSoft could even learn from. Okay, so that was our top 3. Chat, tell us about what your top 3 were. Let's read a couple of these real quick. Deadhead says number 1 was Fallout 76.
Fates appear to be intertwined.
Metal Parky, thank you for that host. Deadhead says number 2 was Fire Emblem. That's cool. We were just talking about Fire Emblem right before you got here, and 3 is Sekiro. Chris says for him,
Cyberpunk.
So, Chris, I'm getting a distinct theme from your top 3 list. You're definitely a fan of the cyberpunk things.
He's excited about Assassin's Creed.
Karma, you don't have, you can like bad games. It's okay. No, I'm joking. You can like whatever games you want. He asked she asked if she'd get in trouble for saying Battlefield. No, Karma, you like whatever games you like. I like games that not everybody likes too. Levi Hurst says Smash, Gears, Tactics, and Halo. That's 4. You get 3, Levi. So Halo's canceled now because you got greedy.
No, Gears, Tactics is 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Smash. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I overreacted there. College says Smash Ultimate, Mario Party, 2 Point Hospital, and then several others. Well, all your other games are canceled now, College.
What is several others? Who came up with that game?
I don't know. I never heard of it.
That sounds like a good game.
What'd you say, Cherry?
The 2 Point Hospital looks quite cool. I think that was in the PC gaming show. And it's very similar to, if you guys remember, Theme Hospital.
Yeah.
Remember that old school game?
Uh-huh.
That looks. Don't not shake your head at me, Snuff.
No, I was thinking of the PC E3.
Yeah, that was not a good show, was it? Really?
No, I skipped over it in our review because 90% of everyone who watched E3 skipped over it as well.
Yeah.
They announced like 3 PUBG clones or battle royale games there, but so you're saying that hospital game looks pretty good, Cherry?
Yeah, it just feels like a throwback to Theme Hospital, which I was really, really big on when I was younger. So it might be interesting to check out.
So let's move on to then, what was your biggest surprise, Cherry? What was your biggest surprise of E3?
For me, it was Pokemon Let's Go, because that was kind of under my radar.
Okay.
Like I said before, I've never been really a Pokemon fan, but this one has got me really interested in it. So yeah, definitely that one for me.
Nice. What about you, Snuff?
Demon Machina.
Yeah, Demon X Machina.
Yeah.
Well, surprise! That was my biggest surprise too, because it was out of total left field.
I didn't even know it was coming out. I've never even heard of that. And...
Snuff, y'all should have been Madden.
Well,
too late.
Yeah.
It's on the audio record. You don't get to change it now.
the game
Osmo
wasn't a surprise. The platform it was going to be on was.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Madden 19, who knew they'd come out with another one? Never.
Yeah.
So Cherry, what was your biggest letdown of E3? What were you like excited about, and then it came out and you're like, oh wait, I think this might be shit.
Okay, bear with me on this.
Okay, because,
all right. Don't shoot me down. But I am going to say Nintendo, unfortunately.
No, game, not. Oh yeah, that's fine. Nintendo.
No,
that's fine. All right.
It's Nintendo just as a whole. The whole E3 Expo. I think there was just too much hype built around it for me personally, and they didn't announce what people were expecting them to announce. They spent so long on Smash Brothers, which is fine. It's going to be a really cool game, but I think to spend half of that expo or just on that, kind of it let me down. I felt like that I was a little bit let down as well.
That's fair. How about you, Snuff?
I was thinking Nintendo, but now I don't want to steal Cherry's thunder there.
You can be disappointed by the same thing. It's fine.
No, I would say Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big letdown for me. I was really hoping something else.
That was gonna be garbage though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was really hoping they'd do something, they'd release something in E3 that'd really redeem it and bring it back, and I'd be excited about it again. But it didn't happen, and just kind of looks like shit in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a Nintendo fan long enough to not expect them to do anything, because they never do what you expect. Like right now, Chris is saying the fact they didn't say anything about Bayonetta 3 or Metroid Prime 4 was a huge letdown. And yeah, I think that's accurate. A lot of people, but I've been watching E3 since like 2000 was the first one, early reading about it back then because you couldn't watch it live. And it's never what you think. They never do what you think they're going to do, ever. I mean,
I will say on that point as well, you mentioned the other day, Crunk, that E3 just isn't their single event of the year. They do directs.
Right.
The year. So, yeah.
And a lot of people are comparing it to like past E3s and comparing it to like the other E3s, but Nintendo does 4 or 5 directs a year. And they're going to, that's what I had to tell my daughter. I'm like, they're going to show Pikmin 4 at some point. They're going to show Animal Crossing at some point. It may not be this year. Nintendo has a great problem to have when it comes to their console. They've got a lot of third-party support all of a sudden. They never had that problem on the Wii U. So they have to be careful about announcing and releasing too much and taking away hype from other people's games, especially now, they had to do a lot to court these third-party players, and they want to keep them. So my biggest disappointment, I think, I'm not going to say Nintendo because I didn't expect them to, but was probably the EA one, because even though I'm very excited that they have a Madden's coming to PC, they didn't announce a whole lot of new stuff. They have this Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars stuff, but Anthem didn't really show me enough to make me excited about it. That's a game that's like trying something new. I'm pretty excited about it. I don't care about Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 just looks so damn boring. So I'd have to say the whole Electronic Arts presentation was kind of blah for me. You doing all right, Snuff? You got to go?
Yep, I'm heading out.
All right, man. Thanks, buddy. See ya.
See you guys later.
Hey, Snuff, who won E3 of all the companies? Put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Just go with your gut, man. It doesn't matter. Nintendo, Sony, PC Gaming, Ubisoft, Square Enix, Bethesda, Microsoft, or EA.
Oh man, I don't know. I would say Sony. Sony. Spider-Man's gonna be great. The Last of Us Part 2, I think is gonna be great for people that like that series. And that Ghost of Shishimi, that Cherry. I think Sony. I think that was really big. I think Sony had a good E3.
Okay, thanks, man. Have a good time at the baseball game or wherever you're going.
Yeah, church.
Controversial. What about you, Cherry? Who won E3? And chat, you guys put who won E3 in chat too.
I was also going to say Sony.
Okay.
I think just with the 4 games that they announced, I think they have got a very solid lineup coming up. So yeah, Sony.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Sony just had too many big hitters, and they have the advantage of being in an entrenched position. I think I was impressed with what Microsoft put out, but they weren't so overwhelmingly beyond what I expected that like Sony was. Sony could have literally just said, "Hey guys, Death Stranding, Last of Us 2," and just walked off. But yeah, they've got a lot of good stuff on the horizon. I don't think Microsoft did bad at all. But let's look what chat says. Chat says, Levi says Xbox One. Deadhead Draven says Microsoft One. Karma says anyone but Ubisoft. Deadhead Draven says EA was a dumpster fire this year. Microsoft One. Sony was good, but didn't show as much. Yeah, that's fair.
They stated from the very get-go, Sony, that they were going to talk about 4 or 5 games, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
Which I think I prefer, because they can go into depth with the games that they have rather than just barrage you with all the titles that they're going to be releasing forward. So,
and I think that's one thing that Nintendo kind of people forget about. For the last 2 days since E3, Nintendo's been having long-ass Treehouse streams where they're releasing information and talking about more in-depth stuff, which makes the Smash part of their main presentation all the more baffling. Why didn't you save some of that for there? And it may be that they couldn't do the Treehouse as much. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. Metal Park, you didn't watch E3. Sorry. That's all right, man. Notice they all don't have an Xbox. Who are you talking about, Levi? You want Spider-Man, though? Yeah, for sure. So
I had an Xbox.
You had? I did too, and it just like...
I got rid of it.
Yeah, every game I was excited about was like... Ugh. So who did worse, Cherry?
I am going to throw EA on the fire, I think.
I think that's near you. I mean, actually, I'm going to say the PC Gaming Show. The PC Gaming Show was the worst.
I think the problem I made a note on it with the PC Gaming Show is because they cover such a wide platform.
Yeah. And
there's so many developers for it. I don't think they dedicated enough time to each game that they were showing.
Yeah, they didn't have a big marketing budget like Sony or Microsoft does to say, hey, let's hire some quality talent to get some good production values on the video. It was like really cringy to watch. Not all the games were bad, but just the whole layout was really bad.
Yeah.
Levi says Nintendo was the worst. College says he disagrees purely because Animal Crossing for you, but EA was truly the worst. Yeah, I mean, if you spend if every one of your game presentations starts out with, don't worry, we're not going to try to hose you on loot boxes anymore. We learned our lesson. We're sorry, guys. By default, that kind of has to take the case worse. But so one of the last couple questions before we get out of here. You good, Cherry?
Yeah.
All right. Any games that you weren't interested in before E3 that when you saw E3, you're like, that game's for me. You didn't want it, but then you saw it and you're like, no, I'm now interested in it. I'm not going to follow it closer.
I think it comes with one that's in my top 3, which is Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
I had no idea what that was. I didn't even know it was on their roster to be announced. And after seeing the gameplay of it, it looked really cool. So yeah,
nice.
That one.
The games that I wasn't interested in, but now I am, is probably Last of Us Part 2. I was, resigned to, like, I can't wait to watch someone else stream that and enjoy it, right? But now, because of all the reasons I said before, I'm actually thinking about getting it.
Yeah, we know why you want that, Grant.
Yeah, exactly. All those hot zombies in that game. Are you excited about the idea? This is kind of more general, but one thing we didn't get was a lot of look at new consoles. I have Phil Spencer at Microsoft says we are currently developing the next generation of consoles, and we can't wait to show you multiple versions of it soon. There's going to be multiple SKUs of the next Microsoft console. Are you excited about the prospect of a new console? Is that what we want right now, or what do you think?
I don't know. I think the capabilities of the ones that are currently out probably can do the job. I imagine. Yeah. Like, you've got the PS Pro, you've got the Xbox One. It depends what they come up with. I mean, how much better can you get than 4K? However big processor it's got. But yeah, we'll see what they come up with in the future.
Yeah, so, I'm kind of like you. I think we'll get an Xbox One X that's cheaper soon. We'll get like a Microsoft, even starting with the Xbox One, kind of realized that, hey, the traditional home console is going to die. It's going to die in the next 10 years, if not sooner. And Microsoft was trying to be out ahead of that, and it really bit them in the ass because of the way they handled it. But there's really no need for us to have exclusive games on all these different consoles. And I think, Nintendo Switch, this whole thing with Fortnite, we didn't even talk about it. Fortnite right now, if you buy it on the Nintendo Switch, if you have it on Xbox or PC and you log in with your account, all your progress goes to the Switch too. Sony is not letting that happen. If you log into your Epic account on Sony, it's frozen. It can only be activated on Sony. If you then go to do it on Nintendo or Xbox, it says, sorry, we can't let you do that. You have to create a new account if you want to play those games on the other consoles. And that's Sony being probably being smart, even though it's caused them a lot of PR right now. If they want to keep people locked into their hardware, they probably think they're being smart with it, but they want to keep people locked in their hardware, then they're going to have to do stuff like that. I don't know. I think the future of gaming is going to be very interesting if we all get locked into specific hardware. Here's that Fox Zelda game we were talking about a minute ago. But yeah, so overall, I was pretty happy with E3. Let's see. Levi says Animal Crossing would have sold Switches tenfold. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you there, Levi. Animal Crossing is a very niche game. It doesn't move consoles. It doesn't have the tens of Smash Brothers is going to sell more Switches than Animal Crossing would, even if they had a brand new Animal Crossing. I think Nintendo was smart to make the decision to put Animal Crossing on the mobile. Did their implementation of it really work? Probably not, to their fans' expectation anyway. But Animal Crossing was never a huge selling game. It did really well for 3DS, which is more, like I said, the mobile market. But so did it talk you into getting a PS4, Cherry? Are you now contemplating that?
I am. Yeah, there's some good titles coming up that I'm very interested in getting. Some exclusives anyway. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, guys, I think that is going to do it. We've gone an hour longer than I meant to do. I'll probably have to break this into 2 episodes. But Cherry, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you spending the time. I know it's late for you.
Yes.
You got to get up.
Man. It's been a lot of fun. I've been properly nerding out about E3, so to be able to actually talk about it has been a lot of fun. Thank you.
And it's good to have you on the live episode, too. We'll have to do another early one so you can get on here. Or you just stay up till 3 in the morning. Come on. Yes. Yeah. But
whisper stream, but okay.
thank you so much, Cherry, and I know Snuffas isn't here, but thank you, Snuffas, for covering the live episode this week while Dee's on vacation visiting her family. And we will see you guys soon.